Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there as we dive into another NFC Wildcard matchup here. The San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys, two storied franchises when it comes to the NFL playoffs, and both have fan bases that really think they have what it takes to go deeper into the playoffs. So, of course, if you don't select their team, they're going to be butthurt. I expect the comment section to be rocking down below in this one. Before we dive into this matchup, I have to give you a quick reminder. And this giveaway is just huge. That's why I want to continue to remind you guys up to 4 ways to win this giveaway. We have a signed Justin Herbert helmet and a signed Austin Eckler jersey. How to become eligible, how to gain entries here on your screen right now. Just make sure you have that free account set up through Pristine Auction using the promo code Headliners. Plus, you can also sign up for a Prize Picks account, become a YouTube member, pre-order a 2022 Fantasy Football Draft Guide. If you've done some of these things already, you're already pre-entered, so don't worry about that, but make sure you get your entries in now. Looking forward to giving that away. But let's go ahead and dive into this matchup now. The San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, one of the games that I'm really looking forward to here this weekend is played Sunday, January 16th, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time there in Arlington, Texas. Now, we usually include the weather update in these matchups, but honestly, it's played indoors. Who cares what's going on outside? So shouldn't be an issue on that front. Let's head into some season ranks. And really the first thing that stood out to me is if you don't follow the San Francisco 49ers very close, they are a very well-rounded football team. One of the only teams in the NFL playoffs this year that finished top 12 in all 4 of these categories. They finished the year 10-7, 7th overall in rushing offense. We know this is a team that's going to rush a lot, but what we didn't expect coming into the season was Deebo Samuel being one of the leading rushers in this backfield, plus Elijah Mitchell, been a pleasant surprise as well. Passing offense inside the top 12. A lot of people don't want to give Jimmy G any credit, and I understand. When Jimmy G is good, he's really good. When he's bad, dude, really bad. But he's been pretty consistent, pretty solid throughout the year, and he does rack up passing yardage. Why does he do that? Well, a lot of big playmakers on this offense with a lot of potential for yards after the catch. That's really where he racks up some of that additional yardage to make the numbers look a little bit better when it comes to defense, inside the top 7 for both rushing and passing as well. But now we go over to the Cowboys side of things, and when you think Dallas Cowboys, the first thing you think is offense. Offense. And that's going to happen when you have guys the likes of Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz. Tons of options still there in Dallas, so you expect them to be great on the offensive side of the football, finishing inside the top 10 in both areas here, rushing and passing, finishing 2nd overall behind Tampa Bay in passing offense. But where it gets a little dicey at times is the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. The rushing defense finished 16th overall in the NFL. Didn't look great last week against the backups of the Philadelphia Eagles, but I also am aware that Dallas wasn't 100% themselves out there on the defensive side of the football. So not going to hold that against them too much, however, throughout the course of the year. Have been, prone at times to giving up some big rushing numbers. What about the passing defense? Everybody wants to look at Trayvon Diggs, and as much as I love me some Trayvon Diggs, I really like that kid. He's exciting and fun to watch. He's very vulnerable to be beaten deep down the field. All we really want to focus on is the limelight, right? The interceptions, the big plays that he's making. But don't kid yourself. At times, this guy can give up a lot of big plays, and that's something that San Francisco may try to exploit here in this game. What about a few injury concerns? Probably a lot more to look at on the San Francisco side of things. You got Trent Williams, offensive tackle, dealing with an elbow injury. He's questionable. Definitely a piece that they want to have available here in this game to try to enforce their will and run the ball with not only Deebo Samuel, but Elijah Mitchell, who is also himself questionable. But here's the thing. Elijah Mitchell has been questionable for every game he's been active pretty much this year. The guy is always on the injury report, but one thing is for certain. When he's in the lineup, he's touching the football right around 20 times a game, and he's finding success. It's one of these offenses that are kind of plug and play in the backfield. It doesn't matter what the name is back there. If they're given the opportunity, they're going to produce, and I do expect Elijah Mitchell to be out there. What about Jimmy G? He's dealing with a thumb issue still, questionable as of right now. We saw him out there last week. I expect to see him out there once again this week. On the Cowboys side of things, I was going to put Tony Pollard on there, but honestly, he's somebody that I believe is going to be okay. He kind of dealt with a torn plantar fascia late in the season, and even though I don't list him here, he's probably somebody who's still slightly limited, may not get a full workload, but will still probably get a few touches. Tyron Smith, though, offensive tackle, huge piece of the offensive line. Not only like huge as in stature, but just overall, the guy is a big piece of this offensive line. Coming off the COVID IR, is he limited at all this week? And as of right now, he still has a questionable tag. I do expect him to play in this very important game, and they definitely need him there on the offensive line. A few storylines has to be the 49ers defense and Dak Prescott here as of late, who's been on fire to end the season. Some big games offensively for the Dallas Cowboys. Can this 49ers defense, which is very, very underrated, go out there and slow down Dak Prescott? That's what San Francisco wants. They don't want Dak dropping back and throwing the ball 50 times. They want to get Bosa in his face. They want to slow down the passing attack. They want to take away the Dallas Cowboys' time of possession, and San Francisco wants to run the ball, run the clock, and keep the ball away from Dak Prescott. What about Deebo versus Diggs? Now, the way they utilize Deebo Samuel in this offense makes it really hard for Trayvon Diggs to try to stick with him throughout the game. Deebo is literally lining up all over the field, and as of late, it doesn't matter who they put on him. You cannot stop Deebo Samuel. Obviously, he's going to be one of the main focuses for the Dallas Cowboys defense, and whoever can kind of win this matchup could have a heads up here in this game. What about San Francisco's big play offense versus the Dallas defense that struggles deep? We mentioned that with Trayvon Diggs. Can these big plays happen in this ball game that can really kind of boost the output of the San Francisco 49ers? Now, Jimmy G, I'm not going to say he's one of these top quarterbacks in the NFL, but he really benefits from having receivers, having playmakers on his team that really, excel in yards after the catch. He doesn't always have to throw it 50 yards down the field. He can throw it 25 to 30, get it in the hands of a playmaker like a Brandon Ayuk or a Deebo Samuel or a George Kittle, and they can take the ball the distance. And that really, in the long run, benefits the offensive output of not only the entire team, but it makes Jimmy G look a little bit better as well. And then lastly, penalties. Dallas, one of the most penalized team in all of the NFL. It doesn't matter what's, form or fashion, offensive penalties, defensive penalties, special teams penalties. They are heavily penalized in Dallas. You cannot do that in the playoffs and walk away with a victory. They need to make sure that they limit their opportunities. If there is a big play that is taken off the board due to penalties, that's going to be the demise of the Dallas Cowboys here this offseason. So that's something they definitely need to keep in check. Now, we mentioned in the opening about a potential extra entry into the giveaway through Prize Picks. In every one of these videos, we're talking about a few plays that we like over on Prize Picks. So here we go. Both my guys, San Francisco 49ers guys. I got Deebo Samuel, his current rushing prop, 26.5 yards. That's a total he's definitely been eclipsing here as of late. So I'm going to take the over on 26.5 yards rushing. We talked about the inabilities to stop the run at times in Dallas. Deebo, the guy getting some of that work, he's used like a Swiss Army knife. I'll take the over on that. And then Jimmy G, as of right now, his current passing yard prop, 239.5. I'm going to take the over. In my opinion, I do expect Dallas to take a lead in this ball game early. That's going to force the San Francisco 49ers to have to throw the ball more throughout the game, and I'm banking on a big play or two, so I'm going to take the over on Jimmy G. But now we head into the Manscaped prediction of the game. This is what a lot of people want to know. They want to hold me to it. They want to point. They want to laugh if I'm wrong, but whatever. This is the way I see the ball game going here this weekend. I have the Dallas Cowboys winning 27-24. Will I be surprised if at the end of this ball game, the San Francisco 49ers have won? No, I will not. I think a lot of people are discrediting the San Francisco 49ers too much heading into this matchup against a higher profile team in the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I do have the Cowboys winning. I do think they have that advantage playing at home, the high-powered offense. I expect things to click. However, like I mentioned, I am not counting on the San Francisco 49ers, and if for some reason this score is flipped and San Francisco is victorious, I will not be shocked whatsoever. I expect this to be one of the funner games to watch here this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to it. So how do you see this matchup? We always want to stay interactive. We want you to leave those comments down below. Let us know how you see this game playing out. Maybe you see things a little bit differently, and that is okay. It's fun when we get to share different perspectives, because that's when we really get to look at things, from different sides of the story. That's what makes this kind of stuff fun. So make sure you leave those comments down below. If you enjoy the content here, hit the like button. It greatly helps us out here on YouTube. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. We got all things NFL all year long. We don't take breaks in the offseason here. We're constantly producing videos and looking forward to hanging out with you guys all year long as well. Get entered in on that giveaway. Do not miss out on that. And hopefully yourself can kind of kick back and enjoy some football here this weekend, right? Fantasy football is over. A lot of that stress that comes along with fantasy football isn't there right now. We can play some prize picks. We can make some extra money. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it here this weekend. But hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day here today. Look for all of our other playoff breakdown videos. And hopefully you have a good rest of your week. We'll talk to you later.